Yes.
Can I make a quick point on that as well? Because I wanted to make a political point, if I may, and it's around leadership.
Now, did the Labour Party Minister Alex Davies-Jones, Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Ministry of Justice, expose the entire Tory Party when it comes to protecting women from tackling non-consensual intimate image abuse, or just women and equalities full stop? Well, to understand how we got here, we'll listen to the question from Labour MP and Chair of the Women and Equalities Committee, Sarah Owen, to Jess Phillips, Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Safeguarding and Violence Against Women and Girls at the Home Office.
You've talked about changing the culture, I guess, and that's a huge piece of education. But one of the cultures that we have heard time and time about, again, that has failed victims and survivors is the culture of the police and the lack of infrastructure for the police in terms of regarding NCII. Survivors we spoke to also referred to a culture of misogyny. They were really blunt and very clear that they felt the police just did not care about it and even intimidated them at some stages. One survivor even told us that the police referred to her as a prostitute. What can we do? As much as we can train the individual police officers, what can we do to tackle the culture within the police with regards to NCII and VOG?
I mean, there is we will achieve nothing in the criminal justice system unless we do what you have just outlined, and incidences of both police perpetrated abuses and also incidences of misogyny that have come to light in public in a number of cases are undoubtedly they're shocking, and we have to do everything that's possible. So obviously we're in the middle of two-parted inquiry, the Angelini inquiry, which was started, and in fact in the case of Sarah Everard, there is part of that, the story is an intimate image. That's why I say you can't separate the two. The first part of the Angelini, the government, we have committed to ensuring that gets put in place in full, but we are awaiting the second part of the Angelini review, specifically about as well the issue of how not just police cultures and everything, but how police deal with the seriousness of this crime to stop it escalating to being, as was in the case of Sarah Everard, a much more serious sexual crime that ended her life. So, for the first time, there will be proper standards and vetting, both coming out of the Angelini and also from what the Home Secretary has set out about what will have to be the standards. Misogyny found within police officers will not be tolerated as part of a vetting regime that doesn't just vet you when you go in. What has to be created is a regime that has constant updates. There is another issue I would say about violence against women and girls within police forces, and that is about the for want of a definitely better word, the sexiness of it within police force. It's very appealing to do public order policing or policing firearms. We have got to make this something that police officers have to feel is the very, very, very core. So it isn't just getting rid of, the misogynistic bad apples. This is about making violence against women and girls something so core to policing that being good at it is the reason you get promoted.
Can I make a quick point on that as well? Because I wanted to make a political point, if I may. And it's around leadership. And we no longer, thankfully, have a Home Secretary that makes spiking jokes or a Prime Minister that makes sexist comments. We have a Home Secretary and a Prime Minister that have made tackling violence against women and girls a political priority, and that does really count for something in terms of how the direction of this country is going, the leadership, the political will to tackle this head on, and I think that's really, really important.
Thank you.
Can't argue with that, really, can you? If Tory ministers and the once Prime Minister Spaffer think this is all a joke, it's not a surprise that the Met act the same way as well, don't they? Also, while checking, who were the new members of the Women and Equalities Ministry, since their election, there are 9 members, and guess how many of them are Tories? None. Nada. Nothing. Now, there's 7 Labour MPs and 2 Lib Dem MPs. Now, whether that's through lack of interest from the Tories or whether it's just through bad luck, but I did find the fact that there are 2 Lib Dem MPs and no Tory MPs rather interesting. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. And if you enjoy all things House of Commons and Select Committee meetings, like and subscribe, and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.